Welcome back to the channel. My name is Steven. I'm a pharmacist and I own 52 units of real estate. So today I want to talk about how my life completely changed after getting laid off twice at the age of 31, which was, 3 years ago. For those who are new to my channel or didn't watch my last video, I basically got laid off twice when I relocated from Southern California or from Northern California to Southern California. I took a job at Orange County Global Medical Center in Orange County. And when I relocated there, this was during the heart of COVID. So, things were shut down. ER visits were going down, elective surgeries were going down, and they even delayed my start date by 3 months. And these are all kind of red flags that, the hospital wasn't making much money. It was a for-profit hospital owned by, a smaller ownership group. So it's not your typical big hospitals like UCLA or, Cedars or, it's just smaller. I call them mom and pop hospitals. So, they're more for profit, owned by, some billionaires or whatever who just wanted to invest and diversify. So, basically came there and worked there for about 7 months. And after 7 months, I was definitely, I was let go, right? I remember that day, and I tell a story in my last video, but I literally came into work that day as a pharmacist. And sorry, I'm a pharmacy manager at that place. I was a clinical pharmacy manager at the time. And there was myself, there was another clinical pharmacy manager at the other hospital, and the director oversaw both hospitals. So I remember that day I came in and it was February 28th, 2021. And I basically came in. I remember I was eating my breakfast and, checking my emails, and my boss comes in and he was trying to start a conversation with me, but it was like very awkward. He was very like skittish for some reason. And it was probably because he knew he was going to lay me off like later today. And I remember he was kind of small talking with me, and then all of a sudden he left somewhere else, said goodbye, and find out that he was going to HR, and then all of a sudden I see HR call my office phone, and the HR manager that says, "Hey Steven, it's HR manager. Can you come over to HR? I'm here with Matt." And I was just like, "Oh shit!" Like I remember texting my girlfriend at the time, and now fiance, my favorite phrase, girlfriend now fiance, right? I read the comments. And I remember going to HR and I was like, oh shit, like I'm getting called in. Like, this is not good news, right? I'm not getting promoted, right? For sure. I'm probably getting fired or laid off or whatever, right? So I remember I came in, basically handed me a white envelope saying, hey, you're laid off. And I was just like, oh shit. I remember I was devastated. That was embarrassing. My dad told me not to move to Southern California to chase my girlfriend, now fiance. And obviously that worked out for me in that aspect. Right now, it's going to become a future wife. But it was like very shocking. Like I remember I felt so embarrassed that I didn't want to like call my dad. So I was like, he's just gonna rub it in my face that like I told you so. Like I told you not to go to SoCal and work for this smaller hospital that's unstable, that's for profit, right? And those were the risks I took because there weren't that many opportunities in Orange County because all the hospitals are small and you have to have no connections. And I knew neither, right? I didn't know anybody. I had no connections. So I just, basically did the best I could and got that job. And I just wanted to be in SoCal and figured that everything would work itself out. So I remember I got chopped off. And I remember for that first week after, I was like, in a depressed mood slash like, what do I do? I just moved here. I gave up a good job in NorCal that paid a lot more. Now I'm paying rent. I'm still stuck on the lease. I don't know where I'm gonna get a job. It's just a lot of like uncertainty. And then I remember at the time I was just like thinking to myself, like, wow, like my identity was that of a pharmacist. In my mind at least, thought I did everything right. I, had a doctorate degree, had a master's degree on top of that. I had multiple certifications. I had prior director experience. I was like, this is a step down for me to be a manager, right? And in my mind, I thought, because I think like an entrepreneur, unfortunately, not W-2 employee, I think more like an entrepreneur is like, well, if I had the choice between two horses, I would choose the better horse, right? But office politics is a huge thing, and I'm apparently terrible at office politics, right? So number one, I was a new guy. So there's always a phrase that I jokingly now say, I'm the FNG, which means I'm the fucking new guy, right? So I'm the fucking new guy. Number one. Number two is I'm probably paid more, right? And then number three is that I'm newer, and it's easier to lay off the newer guy. And then number four is I have no kids, no family, not married. So you don't feel as bad to lay someone off all things being equal, right? Like if I was equal to the other manager, all things being equal, but she had a family and she was there longer and paid less, right? Or even minus all that, right? Like, no kids, all things being equal, it's easy to lay off that like younger guy because like that, oh, he can rebound and nothing else is affected. Versus like laying off somebody who has kids and a family. It's hard to do that, right? But it happens all the time too, right? Like I'm not completely ignorant, but all things being equal, I was there less, I was probably paid more, and I had no kids, no family. So, by all means, easy choice, right? And then they were having this flex. And then the other hospital was a COVID surge hospital that was there but when I got this job, I knew it was temporary as well. So, obviously got the warn notice that I was getting laid off and I got laid off, but that one I knew. So that's kind of the short summary of the video. I have a more detailed video talking about how I got laid off. Check out the other video. It's doing pretty well. So it's kind of like the spin-off video. But how did I change from getting laid off twice? So I think the biggest change for me was my identity was shattered as a pharmacist. So I viewed myself heavily as a pharmacist, and that was my identity. Like I identified as a pharmacist. I poured 5 years of schooling, to become a pharmacist. I came out of $250,000 student debt. I did 1 year of clinical rotations. I, worked my way up. I was a pharmacist at a big hospital. Then I became a director. I became a regional director. I got master's degrees. I got certifications. Like I poured 110% myself into being a pharmacist, and that's the way I am. That's my personality, right? But after getting laid off, in my mind, I thought I did everything right, right? And I just thought like, whoa, like how am I being punished? And yeah, at the end of the day, there's a lot of factors out of your control, right? But it was very shocking to me. I'm like, wow, like in my mind, I thought I did everything right. I became a director at like 27, regional director at 29. So manager at 30, I thought, okay, whatever. Like I can eventually work my way back up. So I was just like, I did everything right. And despite that, I got chopped off. And it really shifted my mindset and my perspective, right? Like my identity as a pharmacist was shattered at that moment. And once that identity was shattered, it allowed for something else to fill that void, to fill that gap. And what was that void and what was that gap for me? It was my entrepreneurial bug, and specifically in real estate, right? And at the time, I owned about three to four single family homes. I think I literally got laid off on like February 28th, and then I had to sign my paperwork the next day, and that was interesting. I was like, oh, how is this going to affect this home? And luckily, it didn't affect it at the time, because I had a good reserve. It was cash flowing well. So like, this is my Huntsville, Alabama property. I closed on the next day that I got laid off. I remember that. I remember I was coordinating my notary signing to meet me during lunchtime at my hospital, but I got laid off, so I had to change it to like meet me at my apartment, right? Um, so so yeah, that was an interesting process. But anyways, I own 3 rentals, gonna go on 4, but I didn't really identify as a real estate investor. I still identify heavily as a pharmacist, despite owning 3, 4 single family homes at the time. And I was thinking about like going to apartments at the time, and I did join a mentorship at the time and spent $30,000 joining this mentorship a month before I got laid off. But by getting laid off, my identity as a pharmacist was shattered, and it really opened the door for me to really deep dive into real estate. And at that point, I really resented my W-2 job. I resented my pharmacy career. I'm like, wow, I did everything wrong, and let the sour taste in my mouth. So I went all into entrepreneurship, all into real estate, right? So like not too long after I got laid off, I bought 80 units of real estate. I bought my 26 unit apartment complex off market. I bought my mobile home park off market. I bought my 20 unit off market, right? So I bought 80 units in 8 months. And at the time, how I scaled that, and I have a video talking about it, but it was during COVID, interest rates were lower. I basically, once I got another job at the COVID surge hospital in Long Beach, I had a W-2. So I just like, all right, let me do a huge cash out refinance, pull out a lot of money, a lot of equity that built up during COVID, right? I lowered my interest rate and pulled out $1.2 million. And I used that $1.2 million to basically fund the down payments and renovation on all those 80 units, right? So I did that. On top of that, I was like heavily investing, right? I was max funding my index universal life insurance, my variable universal life insurance. I was balls deep, all in on financial independence, retire early. I was like, you know what? Screw this W-2. I want to retire by 35 years old with $20,000 a month net in cash flow. And I'm going to get that $20,000 a month net through various income streams, right? Real estate being one, I actually opened up my own independent pharmacy with some partners. Um, I did a Amazon drop shipping store, Lunar Ecom with Ryan Panetta. But fast forward, right? I bought a 26 unit, I bought a 20 unit, I bought a mobile home park. So in this time I got laid off in 2021, I had the entrepreneurial bug. I was going all in, right? And then I got a job, and like you said, in like a couple months later. But I went all in, knowing that hey, like I'm still gonna apply for a job because I want the money, right? And I need to pay the bills and to buy my real estate and be lendable because banks like W-2. But you know what? I'm gonna put all most of my effort into my side business, my ventures. I'm just gonna do my job to, at the minimum, to do your job and basically, not get fired and just do your job. It's not hard, right? It's not hard to just do your job, you know. And then whatever energy I had left over, I would focus on real estate, my businesses, and all that, right? So I got the huge entrepreneurial bug. Like I really wanted to retire. I was like, screw this. I wanted to retire before 40. At 40 with 20K, move that up. Let's go to 35 because I resented my W2 job. Right? I resented it. But fast forward, Lunar Ecom by Ryan Panetta, complete scam. Lost $30,000 just as fast as that. My independent pharmacy partnership didn't work out. Lost $30,000 on that. Mobile home park, lost $100,000 on that. Bad property management, bad area, bad all around. Lost money on that. My 26 unit, yeah, cash flows $8,000 a month. My 20 unit cash flows about maybe $2,000 a month, $10,000 a month net there. And then, but I have a cash flow negative single family homes because, I stripped out a lot of equity on those deals. So, so now my identity went from being a pharmacist, I got laid off, to now my identity is a real estate investor slash entrepreneur slash financial independence, retire early, right? I was all in on that. That's all I talked about. I would listen to all these podcasts, the Bigger Pockets, real estate podcasts, mobile home park podcasts, anything I could listen to, I would consume, right? And then a mindset podcast. So I went all in on real estate, right? Like my businesses, I quickly learned that they failed quick, right? Like my pharmacy failed quickly, got out of it, saved energy. Lunar Ecom failed quickly. I mean, geez, I remember I opened up I had a Walmart store. Within a month of opening, that thing got shut down. And then they gave me an Amazon store, and then that was just losing money every month. I was like, forget this. Like, I don't want to passively lose money every month. So I canceled it. And, and then I think Ryan Panetta ended up closing the whole thing altogether. So, maybe he broke even, maybe he lost money, but, that was pretty scammy that he was advertising that. But, shame on me. I fell for it, the quick, easy money. Like, I thought it would make me $5,000, $10,000 a month passively drop shipping on Amazon, and all I did was I was passively losing money, right, on that deal. So I was like, forget it. But I thought, oh, I'm so smart. I'm making 5,000 for one Amazon store. I'll buy another Amazon store. I'll make $10,000 a month, and then I'll retire early. Screw my job. That was stupid, right? Like that was the whole PM that I had. But anyways, my identity shifted all into real estate, right? And then all of a sudden, I went through hardship in real estate, right? Where I obviously my mobile home park was a loss, right? I have a whole video talking about it, right? But I ended up selling for $100,000 loss. Area is too high in crime. I put $500,000 to fix up all these mobile homes. No amount of money could fix a bad area. There's too much crime there. There's not enough police there. The tenants are not great and they're not sticky. I'd rent it out for $500 a month, and then they would trash the unit, and then I only got like a $300 security deposit. It's not even enough to fix anything, right? I had a property manager who couldn't collect the rent, right? He was too soft to collect the rent. I had third-party property management, which they would say whatever to appease me and then not do anything, but they're just people pleasers. I'm like, I at one point told them, like, actions speak louder than words. So stop giving me empty words. I want to see action. And then they just would be like, give me empty words. And I was like, forget this. Decided to sell it. Took me a year to sell it. And, I lost $100,000 a month on that, or not 100,000, $10,000 a month on it, and just got rid of it. I'm doing a seller carry second. Someone else bought it. Hopefully it's doing well now because I want to get my money back, right? On my seller carry second. But yeah, after I got slapped around my mobile home park, right? Like I was really burnt out from the mobile home park. I was burnt out from renovating my 26 unit. I was burnt out from doing my 20 unit. And that finished in, November of 2023. So for the past year, I've kind of been taking it easy, right? Like, so now my identity went from being a pharmacist got laid off, all in real estate, all in entrepreneurship, all in fire movement, got slapped in that, right? Failed my pharmacy business. I failed the Amazon thing. I failed a mobile home park. Got slapped there. Now my identity got shattered. Now I balance both, where like I'm part real estate, part pharmacist, but now I also create content and I do coaching with real estate, right? So from going through this experience, basically my identity is more nimble and loose now. Like my identity I was a pharmacist that got shattered. Then I was a real estate investor. Then that kind of got shattered. Now I'm kind of like, I would classify myself as like more of like a lifelong learner and always wanting to improve myself, right? In whatever aspect that is, right? So for me right now, it's social media, content creation, coaching, right? And I'm still going to buy real estate. Don't get me wrong. Like I'm still going to buy apartments. I'm still going to buy single family homes and share my journey. I'm still going to work as a pharmacist for now. But if I have kids, if I have family and I just don't want to work anymore, then I'm going to sell one of my investments, take that money, pay off my primary residence. I owe about $850,000, right? I'd sell one of my single family homes, the first one I bought, probably has about $800,000 equity in there. Take that money, sell it, whatever money I get after taxes, dump in this house, put this cash in, own this free and clear. At that point, I can step away from my W-2, right? If I want to. So, and then by that point, I'm hoping my social media takes off, maybe coaching, or maybe something else happens, or I don't know. Like I'm putting myself out here because it's attracting random opportunities I'll never expect, right? That's why I'm doing it. And there's leverage to creating content where it works for me 24/7. I don't get paid much from YouTube, but like it's a compounding vehicle, right? It's a compounding vehicle. It takes patience. So now my identity is more like I want to be a learner. I want to push myself. I want to see what I'm capable of achieving, but in a pace where I'm not burning myself out. So I kind of feel like I approach ever since getting laid off and going through this, it gives me a lot more clarity in like what I want from life. It's like for me, I actually appreciate ironically my W-2 more, the more real estate that I own and the more I've gone this entrepreneur journey because W-2 job is so stable, right? Like I see so many W-2 workers, they're so damn entitled, right? Like I can say that because I'm in management and manage 200 people, but they're so damn entitled. Like they want to do the bare minimum, right? They always complain. They're never flexible. And there's those who even give like management a hard time. I'm like, dude, you just have to do the bare minimum and you're guaranteed a paycheck every 2 weeks. Try working in real estate. Try working in 1099. Try working as a commission based. You have to earn every single dollar you do, right? Like I know because I owned a pharmacy. God damn, like we got paid less as owners, right? We paid the pharmacist first. We got paid less. I owned a mobile home park and I lost money. I lost $100,000 on my mobile home park, which is like a year working as a pharmacist. I lost $60,000 between my pharmacy and my Amazon store, and that's like a half a year as a pharmacist, right? Like I lost money. If you work at WC, you're guaranteed money. Plus, you get health benefits and PTO and sick leave. Right? If I get sick, I call out. I still get paid. If you own a business and you call out sick, you don't get paid. You don't get paid shit, right? Unless your business can run without you, right? So like that's what people don't realize. Like I get 401k matching. Like I appreciate my W2 job more. So it gives me a different perspective, right? Like I am enjoying the journey of W2 because I know that's going to end eventually for me earlier than others. Like the thought of working at one hospital for 30 years is depressing to me, right? But there's a lot of people where I work, they've been there for 30 years, 40 years, 50 years. That's depressing to me, right? Like I'm probably going to retire before 40. So maybe in 6 more years or sooner, depending on my situation. If my YouTube blows up and I make enough where I replace my salary, I'll step away from my W-2 by all means, right? But like until then, it's hard to step away from a quarter million, right? W-2 salary. So, like, and like I said, it's guaranteed money, regardless if I do a lot of work that day, regardless if I do a little work that day, I get paid $1,000 a day, right? Like that's crazy, right? Let's tell people stop complaining, try doing your own business and see what it's like. Right? It's hard to make money as if you own a restaurant. It's hard to make money if you own a laundromat, right? So you're not guaranteed anything, right? But here we're guaranteed 2 weeks, every paycheck every 2 weeks. I know exactly. It's like Wednesday at like 7 p.m. Every 2 weeks, I get my money, right? When you own a business, nothing is guaranteed, right? And sometimes I'm putting money into my business from my W-2, right? If there's like a bad month for real estate. So, it really gave me appreciation towards my W-2. So like, if you work at W-2, please appreciate it. Right? Like, even though you have a shitty boss and all this, like, guaranteed paycheck every 2 weeks, health benefits, all that stuff, right? All this, like, the stuff people complain about, I'm like, oh my God, it's like so petty. Like, geez, look big picture, right? Sometimes, like, I'm like, oh my God. So, Anyways, that's my side tangent there. But yeah, I really appreciate my W-2 more. And I know I'm disposable, right? Like I said this in my last video, like we're all disposable. Like a lot of people have such a big ego, think they're so important. I'm like, dude, like the hospital thrived before you arrived and will thrive after you're gone. Because they can find somebody who's 60, 70% as good as you, and they can probably do the job, right? Even me, I thought I was hot shit, right? I thought I was like, oh, I'm the most best, amazing pharmacy leader ever, right? Well, they can lay me off, find someone who's 60% of me. Can they function? Yeah. So once you realize that, you're like, oh shit, well, just enjoy the ride and hopefully you left the place better than when you came in, right? That's my perspective now. Like, did I make improvements here and there? Is it better now than before? And the answer is yes, then that's good enough, right? And like I said, just don't take it for granted, right? Don't take your job for granted. Um, if you have one. So that's I appreciate it more. And I know my time's limited. So, there may be a day where I look back and I'm like, damn, I kind of do miss working a W-2, right? And I still could, right? I could work like per diem or on call, do 1 day a week, 1 day a month, if I want to. That's the luxury that being a pharmacist has. So that's always an option for me too, right? Or I could pick up a contracting job here and there. Um, but like I said, I want to be. I'm going to become work optional, or like if I'm choosing to work, and then also to me too, like people tell me like, I'm worth $6.2 million and like 10,000 a month in positive cash flow, which is like a little bit less than my take home income minus the health benefits and all that. But I'm just like, I don't need to work. Like today, I could sell everything and stop working today, right? But I don't think I'd be any happier like right now. It doesn't make sense. Like I would have to like retire me, my fiance, and like I don't think it'd be too dramatic for me. I'll have to slowly step away. Like maybe I go part time, then I go to on call per diem. Like like for me, I don't think I'd be any happier. Like I still like to learn. I still find fulfillment from like helping the underserved population, and it's pushing me to grow and develop as manager, my soft skills, my hard skills, right? So it's still helping me. And that translates over to real estate. So I still feel like I'm learning a lot from my W-2 job that is helping me in my business and it's helping me in my real estate. So there's still value in this, and like you said, I'm helping people, right? Like I love to learn, I love to push myself. So that's why I like to create constraints. Like how can I buy a lot of real estate while working W-2? How can I scale my YouTube business while working W-2? And then how can I be consistent and be persistent over a long period of time, right? Because like you said, managing a hospital pharmacy is way harder than managing a real estate business. It's harder than managing a YouTube business, right? Like there's no life or death in real estate. Or actually, there could be life or death in real estate, but like life or death in like a YouTube business, right? Like, like I just create content and people watch it, you get paid. People want to do your coaching, you get paid. Or people might ask you to speak, you get paid. Maybe you write a book, I don't know, right? Um, so that's really kind of it in my mindset. So I'm like, wow, I actually have more gratitude for this because I know my time's going to come. And if they lay me off and I'm in the right situation, then that's my parachute out of here, right, into my next journey. So, that's how I really changed my mindset in my W-2 after getting laid off and after pursuing entrepreneurship. So I'm fortunate in this day and age I can do both. I'm very fortunate that the technology allows me to work a W-2 and then create content, right? Allows me to work a W-2, create content, and own real estate and manage it remotely. Like in my parents' time, the thought of buying in Oklahoma and you never been there is not even possible. You buy in your backyard because that's the only thing you knew, right? But now, thanks to YouTube, thanks to podcasts, thanks to the internet, I can research other markets. I can connect with people and other real estate investors I can learn from for free, right, on YouTube. I can learn from others, right? Like this is crazy, and like I can do this at any time. Like I can create videos after work, right? I work in 9 to 5. After work, I get home, I can record videos, and then I can post it, right? And then people can watch this any time of the day, and it compounds over time. Like where else can I do this? This is crazy to me. I'm like, I have so much opportunity, so much privilege, and all that. So it's really crazy to me, and I'm just trying to like seize the opportunity, right? And like I said, I'm really trying to enjoy the ride while I can because I know I'm gonna look back one day and I probably have fond memories of my W-2, despite all the office politics, despite like if you have an annoying boss, despite all those petty comments. But like it is cool just to kind of like talk to people sometimes and see people, like obviously there's ones that you don't like and you just avoid as much as you can, but there's the ones that you get along with and really make it worth it, right, for that W-2. So anyways, just really wanted to share my thoughts on getting laid off twice, and how it changed me, and how it changed my mindset, how it changed my perspective, and hopefully it kind of helps you appreciate your W-2 job more if you work W-2, or make it okay for those entrepreneurs who are doing both, right? So I'm there with you. I'm working 40 hours, 50 hours a week W-2, and then I go home and I still do my real estate. I still do my social media. I still respond to my emails, right? So I'm constantly trying to push myself mentally, physically, spiritually, emotionally, like to be better in every way, right? Like, so I'm trying to optimize my sleep. I'm trying to optimize my exercise. I'm trying to optimize my diet. I'm trying to be more time efficient. Like, if you notice me, I respond to things fast because once I see it, I want to take care of it immediately, right? I'm trying to quiet my mind. I'm taking my supplements. I'm trying to do everything I can to put me in the best condition to optimize every minute of my life, so because I know I need to while I'm doing my W-2, while I'm doing my business, while I'm doing real estate. Because once I have kids and a family, it's gonna be harder. I'm gonna be more tired, right? Once I have a kid, my attention will be diluted once I have a kid, right? I might have a kid running around these background videos, right? Like while I'm talking. So I'm trying to milk every moment I can, and really enjoy this period of my life. So it's really, once you find fulfillment in the day-to-day grind, fulfillment in just the mundane middle is what I call it. Like the marathon, like when you're running the marathon, people just see the start and the finish, but it's that grind in that middle. Like really enjoy that grind in the middle, because you're gonna look back one day and realize like, wow, I was really living my life. I was really pumped up and I was really enjoying it. And now I finally realized that, right after going this journey for 3-4 years now. So I kind of got a lot of clarity by getting laid off. Kind of got a lot of mental focus, and I definitely reframed my mindset a lot. So hopefully you learned a lot from this too, and you got a lot of value from this. So anyways, if you want to learn how to buy multifamily real estate after getting laid off, check out my mentorship program down below. Otherwise, please like, comment, subscribe, and hope to see you next one. Thank you so much.